Who can you see here? Let's have a look. It was filmed in 1902. Who's the august gentleman in the beard?
Is
George V.
No, isn't it? It's Edward VII.
It looks exactly like Edward VII. Yeah. On the other hand, it isn't.
It's not Edward VII.
No, I know, it looks so like
Father Christmas.
And it took place in 1902, which was the year of Edward VII's coronation. You could have played a spend a penny bonus, but I'll let you get extra points if you can spot the lavatory attendant in this.
Is he going to the lavatory in the film?
It's the man sitting down in the throne. The man you thought was Edward VII is, in fact, a lavatory attendant.
He doesn't look so much like Edward VII.
No, that's because he's in profile now.
I see.
He did look a bit like him full on.
It's not HD either, is it?
No, it's not HD. It's the early days of cinema, and the early days of cinema were dominated by one nation more than any other, really, and they were...
France.
The French, yes, exactly, the French. And in 1902, a French filmmaker called Georges Méliès decided to film the coronation, but he wasn't allowed in Westminster Abbey as soon as they heard how loud the film camera was when it was being cranked. So they said, we will have none of that nonsense here. So he decided to restage it in France and in a studio. And he found this lavatory attendant who had a nice beard, who was the right size, big adipose deposit, tubby chap, in other words. And he basically went through all the, elements of the coronation as happened. And so it was the first filmed simulacrum of a coronation, but it wasn't the real thing. In fact, Edward was ill for the real day, so he was able then to go to England and film the carriages arriving and cut that into the footage. And so that was the only real part. The rest of it was made up. And
what was the catering like?
Probably wonderful if it was French, I should imagine.
Yes.
What else? Oh, yes, the film went more smoothly than the real thing. In the actual ceremony, the very elderly and almost blind Archbishop of Canterbury put the crown on backwards. He then couldn't get up.
Put it on at all.
Larking about.
He also had to kneel down to swear fealty to the king, and then he couldn't get up again. So the king had to help him up.
Well, that's what royalty should be, a blind Archbishop of Canterbury and a great big fat king who keeps getting terrible constipation and being unable to turn up at his own coronation.
Exactly. But the film, you'd be pleased to know, was a huge success. Briefly made that lavatory attendant one of the most famous film stars in the world. 1902, there weren't many to compare him with, but he was huge.
He was one of the biggest film star of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And the king saw it when it came out, and he enjoyed it hugely, apparently, according to a letter sent to us by Pauline Méliès, who is the great-great-granddaughter of the filmmaker. Thank you, Pauline, for sending us that. Very
Do you think
grateful.
Edward thought it was real? He looked at it and said, I think I've lost weight.
Possibly.
Thank you for watching. Do remember to subscribe to the QI channel and click here to watch more videos. Well, please, come on, pick something.